Hi, this is George Swift from Bigger, Brighter, Bolder Mindset for Success, and I want to tell you today very quickly how you can be your own best coach. Now, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, and of course sometimes we do need that external help to help us unpick our businesses or help kind of steer us through some of those business issues. However, sometimes we really can be our own best coach. If you imagine, the unconscious mind is responsible for 99% of everything you think, feel and do. Even when we're most lucid and we're most alert and most awake, it's still controlling us 95% of everything we think, feel and do. So if it's responsible for our experience of life, it's responsible for the action that we're taking. If we've got any kind of personal issue or any kind of problem, personal problems, those sorts of things, I'm talking about things like maybe confidence issues, self-esteem issues, anger issues, maybe we've got some vulnerability issues, maybe we're procrastinating, whatever it might be, but definitely on the personal side of things, then obviously the unconscious mind is causing that to happen. It's creating that situation, and therefore if we can learn to listen to the unconscious mind, we'll start to hear its secrets. We'll start to work out why it's doing what it's doing. Actually, you don't need to go into the unconscious mind. In fact, it's impossible to go into the unconscious mind. What we can do, however, is we can influence it. But sometimes we get so used to trying to control life consciously, or we're trying to cognitively work on ourselves or get involved. And I do lots of this stuff with my clients, by the way. And sometimes we can do too much of that in terms of we're consciously all over life and all over business and all over ourselves. Whereas sometimes what we need to do is we need to listen. And we need to listen out for what's going on inside of ourselves. The unconscious is only about 2 to 5 years old in terms of intelligence. Someone said once up to about 6 years old in terms of intelligence. So it's not smart, but it is in control, and therefore we'd be wise sometimes to listen to what it's got to say. The way we do this is really simple. We get very quiet. Some people might do a little bit of meditation. You might just sit in a quiet room with the lights turned off. You might want to lay on a bed, whatever it might be, and just be still for maybe 5 or 10 minutes and just quieten your mind. Let the thoughts go completely, or as much as you possibly can. And then you pose the question you want an answer for. And you sit there and you might say something, for example, why is this upsetting me so much? Or why am I getting upset so much? It could be a confidence issue. And you might want to sit there and say, what's scaring me about this so much? And then we listen. We don't want to think our way through this. We don't want to go in there and dive in and charge around asking loads of questions. We listen. And if we listen, the unconscious mind really will answer us. And it takes a little bit of training, but you can hear it. And you'll know the difference between your thoughts and the unconscious giving you its secrets. You'll hear the difference. It's very hard for me to say in this video, but you'll know the difference between your thoughts and these thoughts that come out of the unconscious mind. Now, of course, if we jump all over those thoughts as it comes out of the unconscious mind, then we're now being cognitive again, and what happens is we start to jump and squash whatever's coming up. It's just like going to a dinner party and you want to be the best guest ever. What do? You ask someone a wonderful open question, and then you listen, and you listen, and you listen. And if the conversation dries up, instead of starting to talk about yourself again, you say to people, is there anything else? Or what else could you tell me? You might not use those exact words, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, what else? What else? And then they'll start talking some more, and you'll find more and more about that person than you would do if you, say, went into an interrogation process of asking them, what's your name, where you're from, where do you go to school, what do you do for a living, what's your 10 favourite things, or whatever. So when we're sometimes coaching ourselves or looking at our own personal issues or our own problems, we don't necessarily want to interrogate ourselves with 10 questions. You know, what does this mean? Why am I doing this? What's happening? What's causing it? How am I interpreting this? Because we're dominating that conversation. And whilst we'll get some really good answers, and don't get me wrong, I coach like that an awful lot, both myself and my clients, sometimes you want to pose a nice open question and just listen. And we want to get that train of thought coming up. And we don't question it, we don't challenge it, we listen. We listen and we listen and we listen. And what happens is the unconscious starts to give up some of its secrets. And we keep listening and we keep listening. Now, of course, sometimes it goes into our head and becomes a bit of a jumble. So what I recommend to people initially, certainly, is writing it out. And that's what we're going to be doing in there with my entrepreneurs. Now, this is all very fluffy for me, you know, I'm all into brain mechanics and the mindset mechanic. However, I have trained myself over the years to listen to my unconscious mind, because I can't always work out 100% what's going on or why it's going on. And my unconscious mind does know the answers, of course, because it's doing it. So we want to listen. But if we're all over it, we won't be able to hear, or it will just be responding to our questions. Write it out. Just keep writing, a conscious train of thought. Keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. I once wrote for 7 hours straight to resolve a problem. And it was there, just wanting to talk, wanting to let me know what was going on. I was just there, writing it out. And I got to the end of it and suddenly there was a full stop and I thought, wow, that's it. This is one of the biggest breakthroughs I've ever had in my life, by the way. 7 hours of self-coaching. By self-coaching, I posed the question and kept writing. If it dried up, I'd look at where I got to and I'd be like, well, what else? Or what next? Or what does this mean? And we'd go on and keep writing and keep writing, keep writing. So I'm actually setting a challenge for all my entrepreneurs in success groups this month to do 21 days of what I'm calling unconscious writing. Unconscious writing means you're not thinking about what you're doing, you're not overly paying attention to what you're doing, you just start writing. You write. The moment you start thinking too much or questioning, you're back up here. We want to get into the unconscious mind, we want to listen. And writing is a really good way of just getting it out and getting it out. So, my challenge to you is the same challenge I'm giving all my entrepreneurs, which is pick something in your life. Typically, you can do this by business, by the way, but typically I'm talking about personal issues, deep-rooted personal issues, stuff that's bugging you for a long time. And pose a really good generic question. What the hell does this mean to me? Or why is this happening? Could be as simple as that. Or you might want to go into something a little bit more specific and say, why am I doing this particular thing? And then just start writing. Don't overthink. Don't wait for the perfect answer. If you're trying to wait for the perfect answer, you're not going to get there. You're not going to jump from the surface level problem, as we're experiencing it, down to the deep unconscious issue that might be creating it. You want to unpick it until we get to that place. We get to that, and just believe it or not, by making that line, making that connection, it can actually heal that thing within us without us having to actually do anything. And it sounds crazy, but if you do it for 21 days, you're going to have some profound experiences. Maybe not the first time, maybe not the first week, maybe not even the second or the third week, but I promise you do it for 21 days. At some point, you are going to get some profound answers from within yourself, and you won't necessarily even have to do anything about it. It will just heal. That connection will be made. Sometimes actually you'll get to the end and you'll have to ask yourself back into your conscious mind and say, right, what do I need to do about this? What are my next steps? That's now a conscious process, okay, in order to deal with whatever's come up from the unconscious. But I'm telling you now, a lot of the time, literally, it will heal itself just by unpicking it and making sense of it. Anyway, give it a go. This is one of the longest videos I've put up on YouTube for a long time, but I really wanted to give you something you could do rather than just talk to you conceptually about something. Buy yourself a nice book, get yourself a nice pen, just creates a nicer experience. Learn to quiet the mind, start listening to the unconscious. It will give up its secrets, and we can start to heal some of that stuff that really does get in the way of us as individuals, which inevitably and invariably is going to get in the way of us being successful entrepreneurs. Give it a go, 21 days. That's my challenge, and I am really confident, positive. In fact, I could almost guarantee it, you'll have some profound results if you stick with it. And until next time, be successful.